What's up, guys? Welcome back. I know I haven't posted in probably like 2 years, so let me give you guys a quick little update of what has happened since the last time I posted. I quit football. I no longer play the sport. However, I started my own kicking company. We're called New Gen Kicking. If you guys want to follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok, you guys know the deal. At New Gen Kicking on all those platforms. But basically, in the last 12 months, we've ran 3 camps, sent 4 kids to Division I schools, and pretty much taken over the San Diego area of developing and training high school and junior college prospects. So, safe to say we've been busy over the last 3 years, I would say. Yeah. So that's pretty much an update of what we've been doing down here in Dago. With that being said, welcome back. We are here with a new video. I have a lot more knowledge now, so I'm going to do a remake of this how to get recruited and pretty much how to update your ranking and or get it higher and how to maximize your exposure and get recruited. I know a lot of you guys have the ranking already, but still are lacking a little bit of the recruiting advice that you guys would need and I'm sure would appreciate. So here we go. All right, so the first thing I need you to do is go into your bathroom, into your room, and take a long look in the mirror. Look at your height, look at your weight, look at your muscle development, and truly tell yourself and really ask yourself, am I built like a Division I football player? Okay, and if your answer is no, then you have some work to do in the kitchen and in the weight room. And I know some of you, as much as you eat, as much as you lift, you can't seem to gain weight. And honestly, to me, it sounds like you are not actually eating as much as you think you're eating, okay? Unless you're counting your calories and your macros every single day, tracking every single meal, you're not eating enough. I promise you. I weigh about 240 and even I struggle to hit my calorie counts when I'm trying to cut. And that's what I'm trying to cut. So for those of you trying to smash 2.5, 3,000 calories a day, I promise you, if you start tracking your calories, you're going to realize that you aren't eating nearly enough as you thought you were. Now, maybe gaining weight isn't your problem. Maybe you need to cut. Maybe you've been told by either a coach or a private trainer or someone who is genuinely looking out for you, and they say, hey, if you were to cut some weight, if you were to lose some weight, you would be a much better athlete, okay? And now there's 2 things you can do. You can get offended and make a million excuses as to why you're good and you don't need to cut weight, or you can cut weight, you can get better, become more flexible, have a higher swing, be able to stay taller, have more balance, right? And actually improve, or you can choose to make excuses, okay? At the end of the day, you guys are the ones holding yourselves back from actually going where you need to go. One of the final questions you should really be asking yourself is, how are your grades? How are my academics? Am I a standout student or am I just doing enough to get by, right? Okay, so when we do our NCAA eligibility center stuff, they're going to calculate your core GPA with your core classes, okay? So no electives, no ceramic, no A in ceramic, no A in Spanish, okay? None of that, or I guess Spanish counts, but definitely not ceramics, no art, no computers, none of that stuff counts, okay? So just your history, your math, your science, your English, your main subjects. That is what's going to be counted, okay? So if you right now have a nice cushion GPA of, let's say, 3.3, when it comes time to actually doing your real GPA, your NCAA GPA, I promise you're going to have like a 2.4 or 2.7. Okay, you're not going to be in that 3.0 range. Now, all you need is a 2.0 to be eligible to play in the NCAA, but it does not help your case for it to be closer to 2.0 than it is to be 3.0. Okay, that is how a lot of people are suddenly slept on, quotations, because they don't have the grades, but they have the talent. Okay. If you want to play college football, what's the first word of that? College. Okay, so you have to be a student before you are an athlete. Okay, your grades determine your opportunities in this life. So the quicker you understand that, the quicker everything will start going your way in your life. I promise you guys, it's the little things. The next thing I really want to emphasize and like make sure that you guys understand that it's extremely important and can change your entire direction and outlook for your recruiting process is the strength and conditioning and the weight room. Okay, so if you guys really focus on getting stronger, changing your body, making sure you look like a football player who kicks, you guys are going to see a huge difference in your ball flight, your distance, how much hang time you're getting, how much pop you put on the ball. When I got to Sacramento State as a freshman, I was around 260, 250, 260. I was a big kid. So by the time my first season was over, I was around 295, almost 300 pounds. Okay. That following spring semester after the season ended, I lost 90 pounds. Okay. So I was at around 205. My PR, like my long field goal, went from 60 yards, like barely going over the crossbar, to being able to hit from 70. Okay. So that added 10 yards to my ball in one semester of hard work, 2 workouts a day, eating what I needed to eat, the chicken, the rice, the salads, the greens, everything I needed, the protein shakes, to change my body, to transform my life, to really take hold of the steering wheel of my life and not let it go down paths of binge eating or comfort eating and just going through emotional stuff. While we're on the topic of eating, guys, as I said earlier, if you're not counting your calories and tracking your macros, it's going to be really hard for you to really determine whether you're actually hitting your calorie counts or not for the day. Okay. If you are someone who's trying to bulk, you absolutely must track your calories. Okay. If you're not tracking your calories, how are you going to know what you're eating? You're not. Okay. And then you're just going to be eating your meals and you're going to be like, Coach, why haven't I gained weight? I actually lost 0.7 pounds this week. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be seeing a 1 to 2 pound gain every single week if you're doing weekly weight checks, which I do with all of my students every Wednesday. They already know it's Wednesday weight check. They send in pictures of the scales. That way I know they're not capping and trying to finesse their way into me not chewing them out. Okay. So if your coach isn't doing that, maybe ask or bring it up. Say, hey, coach, maybe we could be held a little bit more accountable and start doing weekly weight checks, and he can start tracking them and give you guys prizes or whatnot. Okay, my guys, I got something special for the top guys who lost weight and gained weight. Okay, because we got both. We got some big boys and we got some little boys. So both of them are gonna get to where they need to get to look like football players who kick. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is exposure, okay? So there's a lot of avenues when it comes to exposure. There's a ton of exposure camps. There's a ton of ranking camps. There are multiple companies that claim that they can help you with exposure, that they have the best, okay? For me, personally, I'm going to go where I'm actually being seen, okay? A lot of you guys are not ready for ranking camps yet, okay? And nobody has the guts or the heart to actually tell you guys that you're not ready for ranking camps, okay? If you can't hit a 50-yard field goal, you have no business being at a ranking camp. That's just straight up. That's just honest truth, okay? If you're going to go to the show, why would you go to the show that you're not going to be able to compete at? It's a waste of time. It is a waste of money. It is a waste of just overall, like, even mentally, you're gonna be like, damn, I suck. Like, I shouldn't even kick anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of focusing on like going to those camps as freshmen or sophomores who can't make 50-yard field goals, or you're still kicking off a 1 inch and you can't make a 40-yard field goal, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have more things to focus on than a ranking camp. You need to be in the weight room, you need to be stretching, you need to be watching film, you need to find a private coach to help you develop, right? Even if there aren't any in your area, there are tons of private companies and coaches who do virtual training. Okay, we offer it ourselves. Okay, it's 30 minutes or an hour. So it's up to you how in depth you really want to get. Okay, so there's always options, and we don't charge a lot. So if you guys are interested in any virtual sessions, make sure to hit me up on Instagram at NewGenKicking, and we can handle that. Okay, yeah, it will not be expensive. I promise you. I can work with everybody's price range. I just want you guys to get better. So make sure that when it comes to exposure, you are going to camps like Sailor, you're going to camps like Coles, you're going to those big guys who have a track record of sending kids to college every single year. Obviously, there are like new people in the game, right? I'm not going to name anybody specifically, but if I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket, I'm going to put it in the basket that consistently continues to produce and produce and produce, right? I'm not going to go and spend $500 on someone who has not shown that they can produce and produce and produce. So that's just my 2 cents of it, okay? But obviously, like wherever you live, it's going to be based off where you live regionally, like who's available, who's not, okay? Obviously, some of you guys who live in New York are not going to travel all the way to California for a camp, right? So let's just make sure that we're taking advantage of everyone who's available, okay? All it takes is an Instagram search or a Twitter search to find someone in your area. I promise you. And if you don't know anyone in your area, message me, follow me, and I can help you find someone in your area, or I can ask around and see if anybody knows of anyone in that area to help get you training, okay? There should be no excuses. I have zero excuses as to why I could have got my work done, okay? And there's zero excuses as to why. If you really want to get somewhere, you're gonna do everything you can to get there. The next thing is gonna kind of branch off the last segment I was talking about. It's gonna be personal trainings, private training, proper development, all that good stuff. Okay, so when I was in high school, I had a 5-star ranking. I was 13th in the country, and I did not have a private coach. I did not train with anyone. Okay, there wasn't any private training that was affordable to me when I was in high school. So I didn't have a private coach. I didn't have the luxury of having private lessons or even attend any group sessions. Okay, I had zero training. It was all books. It was all YouTube. It was all watching other guys kick, watching a ton of film, watching a ton of football, and just being around really good kickers at, let's say, like ranking camps and college camps during the summer. Being on campus, like going to Alabama and Tuscaloosa and watching Eddie Pinheiro kick, who's the current kicker for the Jets, I believe, or watching Percy Harvin the third punt, okay, because now he's the starting punter for the Steelers. So I was able to be exposed to a lot of these big-time, big-name guys and take a little bit of their form and add it into mine, okay? My form, I call it like a Frankenstein form because I have a little bit of everybody, and that's kind of what made my ball so attractive to a lot of college coaches. So back to the training. If you have the option to train with a private coach, a private trainer, do it. 100% do it. Now, should you be spending $150 to $200 on one private lesson? Absolutely not. Okay, if those are their rates, oof. Okay, I'm sorry, you have to pay that. Kicking lessons should not be that expensive, just straight up. Okay, but we're not going to get into that. So if you have the money, if you are able to afford it, 100% I recommend paying and getting some private training, some private work. However, obviously don't go broke trying to get to the top if it's not a realistic option for you, right? If you're not hitting 50-yard field goals and you kind of don't have the ability to hit 50-yard field goals because you're 5'4" and you weigh 101 pounds, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably not likely that you are going to get D1 opportunities from Ohio State or Bama or Clemson, right? So let's just once again recalibrate our expectations and make sure that we are investing in the proper things for ourselves and our future. And then once again, I kind of just want to wrap it up with game film and utilizing Twitter. So every single special teams coordinator, special teams grad assistant, anyone who's working with a college has a Twitter profile and they are actively recruiting. My best tip is to follow the graduate assistants, get to know them, and then eventually, if they really like you, they will send your information over to the actual special teams coordinator, and then he will be the judge of whether you are someone worth recruiting or not. Okay, but your best bet to get maybe an unofficial visit, okay, maybe a invite to junior day, maybe a summer camp visit invitation, DMs, you know what I'm saying? Your best chance to get into contact with the special teams coordinator is going to be through those graduate assistants, okay? So if you know how to use Twitter, you'll know how to type special teams graduate assistant or special teams GA into the Twitter search bar, and then you'll hit enter and click on people, and you'll see how easily you're able to find all these guys, okay? After you do that, you have to make sure to come and subscribe and like this video, because I just gave you guys such free game that's going to help you guys get recruited, okay? So if you don't get at least one follow back, go ahead and unsubscribe. But I promise you, okay, I just made your life so much easier on how to find all these coaches. So once again, go on Twitter, type in special teams coordinator, or after that, you can type in special teams GA or special teams graduate assistant into the Twitter search bar. Click on the people button after you do it, and then you'll see it'll be a nice, beautiful list of all the people who have that in their bio, okay? Like I said, once you do that, make sure to come back, subscribe, like to the video, make sure you comment saying thank you or just anything that you guys appreciated or liked from this video. If I was able to help you out in any single way, please make sure to like, make sure to follow us on Instagram at NewGenKicking. Follow us on Twitter at NewGenKicking. Make sure to follow me specifically on Twitter at Coach Medina61. I have posted a lot of cool kicking stats and just kind of my day-to-day life. And my kids that I train all the time. So if you guys made it this far in the video, thank you. I really appreciate you guys listening. I'm happy to be back on the YouTube grind. Definitely handled my business over the last 3 years, so I'm just happy to keep blessing others with my knowledge, my information. But other than that, thank you guys for getting this far in the video. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and have a blessed day. Peace.